Okay, well it's taken about 15 minutes, about 10 minutes to get through the crowd. We're just approaching the tunnel entrance now.
Hello mate. Oh, I'm going to get over about 2 days.
Probably should have brought my headlamp, but anyway.
Going under that big hill.
Oh. Was that the end of it? Oh, there you go. I missed out on a bottle of drinking water by that much. So it looks like some of the cyclists from the Lyttelton end are already here. It's my understanding they were opening both ends at once. As you can hear, there's a lot of noise here, a lot of kids. I'll just turn around for a wee while. So you can still see the glow at the end from the Christchurch end of the tunnel. Snazzy photographer doing the backwards walk. Good broadcast quality camera there. Well, I guess you only get to do this once every 50 years, so... Say I am a little bit concerned. The earthquakes have never frightened me really in Christchurch, not really frightened, but if there was a major quake while I was walking in here, I would be worried. Get sparkly shoes. Oh, there's some walkers for the Lyttelton end. Around about 2 kilometres long, they reckon, this tunnel. lots of bikes coming through. Starting to get quite a few people coming through from the
If you keep to the left, you'll find it a lot easier.
Let's hug in the wall.
You're welcome. Hope you appreciate it.
When this tunnel was built 50 years ago, it was rated at being able to transport over 2,000 cars per hour, and when it was first built only about 2,000 cars a day used the tunnel, not counting trucks and that. And I understand nowadays about 12,000 cars a day use the tunnel, so it's still running at barely half capacity. But I don't think they ever counted it as people, pedestrians per hour or per day. Oh, another bunch of skateboarders. And a penny farthing. Oh, two penny farthings. Whoa. There's no mile markers or distance markers that I know of, so I'll stop at the next one. The old iPad as a camera. There's a little emergency exit sign. I'm not sure if that means there's ladders for the way out. You see the traffic light there. Normally when you go through the tunnel in a car it's green. Obviously it has the ability to give red or orange signals if need be. Emergency stations with a fire extinguisher and emergency telephone. Sorry about the quick look, there was a traffic jam of people behind me. I don't know if it shows up, but walls are slightly curved, as tunnel walls often are, and someone's parked their bike there, and all these tiles, like normal bathroom ceramic tiles, they were all individually hand installed when the tunnel was first built. Oh, they've been redone at times, apparently. So I'm stopping for a longer break here this time. Here's a little fire extinguisher emergency telephone. It goes through to the tunnel control building on the Christchurch end of the tunnel. Just wait here for a moment. Someone's left a bike parked here, so people have to stick around the bike anyway. So there we go, the crowd is still as thick as ever. I was with a workmate earlier. Oh, there we go, that looks like one of the volunteers in an orange jacket, orange vest, high-vis vest. So it's probably her bike. So as you see, the crowd is still just, it's not even thinning out. Oh, hello, here's a bunch of woolly wombats with a National Party supporters. Anyway, we're going to turn around and get going again. Do the old switcheroo again for a while. Hang on, there's a green light up here. We'll just get a copy of this. I'm just going to do the switcheroo again. See the absolute mass of people still, and there's some cyclists coming back from the Lyttelton end and skaters. Getting too sore. Yes, it would have been more interesting if I'd got to the Lyttelton end very early in the morning and entered from the other end to get the mass of people going face first. there were so many pedestrians and cyclists even on the roads approaching the tunnel entrance that the bus was very delayed as it was going up the hills slowly behind even slower cyclists. Because the tunnel mouth, the road does climb a fair bit just to the tunnel mouth at the Christchurch end. It's a little bit downhill because it's not that far off sea level at the bottom end, at the Lyttelton end, at the port end. That's why skateboarders and scooters would be quite good because it's downhill. See, every now and then there's some whoa, we've got a spill there. No, it's only minor. Back on the bike and away. Yeah, there's volunteer wardens every now and then. Oop, someone doing a tyre repair, are they? Chain come on. Underway again. Didn't stop him for long. Must say it's a really good crowd here. You can just get the vibe. Generally families and friends out together. My camera has got optical image stabilizer, and I must say it doesn't normally need it, but today it certainly does. Anyway, if we can beat some of the crowd out to the Lyttelton end, we'll then grab a shot of them as they come out. Kids on bikes, everyone's on bikes. Youngies and oldies and in-betweenies. Hello, bicycle with a trailer. Use this camera left-handed actually. A bit of a congestion here. Started to bunch up a bit. cyclist coming through. I just caught, oh, there's one of those bicycle wheelbarrow things. Bit of a homemade job by the look of it. Still a heap of crowd and bikes coming. Wore shoes today. Yep, I did. Hate wearing shoes, lace-up shoes. Anyway, wore shoes today. Lived in Australia too long. Where 99% of the time you wear jandals, which in Australia are called thongs, and in England and America called flip-flops. Or else I wear some kind of sandals. Bike. Well, the kids one with an umbilical. Oh, now the bikes are all congested. Not sure why. As you can see, the bikes aren't moving at all now. The bicycle lane seems to be heavily congested. Actually, so does the pedestrian lane. Really starting to block up the traffic now with human traffic. 24 minutes. Moving again a bit now. Not sure what the congestion was. Got a little bit of a traffic jam, some kids' bikes and that thing. Marshals. They've got a seat and a fancy orange backpack. Marshal by the emergency station. Now I think I can actually see a glow at the end. I think I can see a glow at the far end. The tunnel's mostly, well, it's more or less straight. It sort of has a bit of a curve in it. It's volcanic rock. This is all old volcanoes. It's New Zealand's longest road bridge when it was built 50 years ago, and as far as I know it's still the longest road bridge. There are much longer ones for rail only. The Otira Tunnel, which which I have a funny feeling is 7 or 8 kilometres long. I may be wrong. Just about 2 kilometres for the Lyttelton Road Tunnel. There's a separate rail tunnel somewhere, I don't know where, obviously somewhere in the general vicinity. The rail tunnel did open much earlier, like 100 years ago kind of thing, or something like that, but a long time ago. Remember that when Christchurch was first settled, the boats, the sailing ships had to, which have deep keels, had to moor in Lyttelton. They could use shallow draft boats to bring it around closer to Christchurch. There was actually a terminal at a place called Ferry Mead. There was a wharf, but they could only do shallow draft boats there. So when Christchurch was first settled, they had bullock carts to carry the stuff over the hill, which is about 400 metres altitude, so quite steep. Well, definitely the end is in sight. It's much brighter now. Probably won't notice it being much brighter because of the auto iris function in the camera, but I will turn around when I get close to the entrance. As I say, I'm not frightened per se, but I'm certainly well aware that if there was a bad earthquake, there could be an issue if you're stuck deep in this tunnel. It did suffer like no damage in the other major earthquakes. It was closed for a while for inspections, but it suffered nothing more than mainly perhaps some cosmetic damage to the tiling. So I just wanted to go back and take a better look at that emergency station just back here. Probably be my last chance to get a good shot at one. Really in the thick of the crowd now. I notice it's East 30 or E30, I guess that's East 30. I'm not sure if it has a sign that's pretty much unreadable. Well, the fire extinguishers are not there. There we go, bit of a safety issue there, guys. And but there is a emergency phone and a fire brigade sprinkler water supply. It doesn't seem to have an emergency light. It's got a sign that, well, if you can read that in this light, you'll be doing well. Congestion in the bike lane again, but still heaps of people, so we'll turn around and we'll carry on. Now the auto iris will be doing its thing, but you can actually see there's a glow at the end there. We're just about probably barely about 40 metres from the end of the tunnel now, I think. Here's another emergency station. Looks like their fire extinguisher's gone too. Maybe they thought it's not worth having them this close to the end of the tunnel. Big crush at the end here. guess. Of course, I could go back the other way and do it all again, but I might walk onto the bus stop and take the bus ride over the hill. With the tunnel being closed for 3 hours, the buses are using an overhill route to get back to the city, and I might get some nice shots of the Port Hills. 32 minutes and some seconds by my count here for continuous recording. So as you see, there are quite simply squillions and squillions of people. That's it. It's of course slightly uphill if I do decide for the walk back, which I think I won't. But and as you can see, there's still lots and lots of people coming. So we'll exit the tunnel. This has been the 50th anniversary of Lyttelton Tunnel, pedestrian and cyclist and scooter walkthrough. Thank you very much.
But it's not.
There you go. I scored myself a free bottle of Lyttelton Tunnel water. Right.